Item 10D, adopt a resolution approving up to $604,415 of City of San Bruno contribution for the San Bruno grade separation archway construction.
The design for the grade separation project under construction right now started more than a decade ago. Always was the expectation of the city to incorporate on the east side in this project a gateway to mark the entrance in our community in our downtown. When the construction for the project started, the city entered in an agreement with JPB to jointly develop a design concept for this gateway on the east side of the project. The design concept was developed and presented to you, and you approved in November the concept design for the archway with some expectation to have some follow-up changes, small changes to the design, to change the design elements of the arch itself. Since then, JPB developed the cost for the arch. Oh, I am looking at it, but I am not showing it to you. JPB developed the cost for the arch. The estimated cost is $1.2 million for this project. JPB made the commitment to fund 50% of the project. The city's share of the cost would be $604,000 for this arch. Our recommendation is to fund this project using $457,000 from one-time property tax fund it received as the result of the redistribution of the former redevelopment cash balance fund, and to use for the remaining of $147,000 general fund reserve, or if you wish to use also the city's art fund, which has a existing balance of $120,000. Mark Simon would like to make a few comments, and both of us will stand for any question you might have.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, on behalf of the Caltrain staff, I'd like to join the city staff in asking you consider approving this proposal. It is the result of an extensive amount of work, as the two members of the subcommittee and the council itself all know. We worked very hard to arrive at the best estimate we can. I should emphasize it is an estimate. We do acknowledge that the council asked that the W be revisited as some other sort of architectural feature, and I can promise you that will be the case, that will direct the final design to be something other than the big W. The other question to ask is whether or not you still want colored glass in the elevator. But those details aside, this is a very carefully negotiated end result, and we hope that the council will approve it. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Good. Any questions of Mark or Clara? No? Okay. Any action?
Through the chair,
Irene?
I'd like the discussion about should the money come from the general fund reserve or the city art fund, and I am putting my 2 cents worth in to not use the city art fund. My mind just went, shh. The Culture and Arts Commission was not privy to any of this planning. They already have plans for this money. They're budgeted, and I think it would be unfair to take away their money without any consultation.
Through the chair, and then I have something else. Well, I wouldn't say it's their money. It's the community's money. But it comes through us for final approval, but they certainly give us good recommendations. They weren't privy to this and weren't involved in this discussion or dialogue, and I think that's, in that aspect, that doesn't seem fair. They should have been brought on board in the beginning. But again, I just wanted to kind of clarify that one point at this moment.
Okay. Anyone else?
Through the chair.
Michael?
My comments, I guess, are along the funding as well. I know that there's a lot of public support and really strong support on the council for this project, and I know that there's been a lot of iterations on this to even appease those of us that were unhappy with the original design. But it is a large amount of money, and whether it's one-time pockets of money that we're targeting for funding this or just general funds in general, I have to think about other projects that could potentially be funded by that money, and I know we don't want to target just one pocket of money, because I know that the Arts Fund does fund a lot of different projects around the city, not just one project. So I don't know that it would be fair to definitely take all the money from there. But I do like the idea of looking at funds that wouldn't necessarily be available for other projects. And if we talk about, the excess money that's in the general fund, that money could go to pave a street or to accelerate a sewer project or do some abatement work along that same street that would help to beautify and better represent the city. So I think I have a little bit of problem with the funding. It is a lot of money, and I think when we initially talked about this, the figure was a lot smaller. We're definitely getting a quality project, but at the same time, I don't think anyone anticipated that it would cost what it's going to cost. I acknowledge that the JPB was very generous in accepting half of the cost, and I know that a lot of people have been making concessions along the way, but it remains to be a very large amount of money, and I'm wondering if maybe we can go back and look at other sources. Back when the Lions Field project came up, that was another very large dollar item, and we were able to use the Park and Lieu funds there. And in that case, that money had to be used for something park-related. They couldn't do anything else with it, and so I was a lot more comfortable with dedicating that large amount of money to that project. In this case, we could do some other things with that money, and I'm just wondering if this, at this time, is the best use of those one-time funds.
Okay, thank you. Ken?
Through the chair. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I can appreciate the concerns, the funding. Clara started her presentation saying that this project was 10 years old. And the mayor and I have overseen this project from conversation to now renderings and a near past halfway construction of a grade separation with the first and foremost priority of safety in our community. This is just icing, and yes, I know that the city has spent some money, the community has spent some money over these 10 years, but I have to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is by far the largest expenditure for this project, for this multi-million-dollar project that Caltrain and JPB is bringing to our community. This is a one-time deal. This is probably a once-in-a-lifetime deal. This is something that we have corrected I would say, a flaw in our community as far as circulation and transportation. Trains and pedestrians and cars don't mix, and it took us nearly 100 years to figure that out. So I feel that the funding is appropriate. I feel we have the money for this. I think it's never going to be that type of expenditure that, you know, if we didn't have the cooperation of the JPB, would have been $1 million more. I think we are getting a lot for the $600,000. I think this community deserves this after 10 years or more of designing it and being a part of it. And I do agree that we could find, you know, the right appropriate funds, reserve funds or whatever appropriate funds to find the balance. But I think we need to move, you know, we need to move forward. The train's rolling.
Rico, any comments? Robert, would you like to say something?
Robert Rico, 7th Avenue. I'm concerned a little bit about taking general fund money, but looking at the bigger picture or outside the box or whatever, downstream the agency that we have set up to replace redevelopment, to utilize the PG&E money. The PG&E, the millions of dollars were to serve, support all of the people of San Bruno. And one would think that possibly a small portion of that could be appropriated as a backfill for if you temporarily borrow from one fund or whatever. Now, when you decide how to spend all that PG&E money, maybe a small portion of that could be justified in being spent to, in effect, pay for a portion of the new archway. So I just wanted to throw that out as a thought as you think of the bigger picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Rico?
Through the chair, yeah, the cost is of a concern to me. How we pay for it is of a concern. I have no problem with the first suggestion. When we come into the general reserve funds, those do concern me. I understand Councilmember Salazar's comments. This weekend, I walked in the avenues on the east side and the west side of the tracks, walked to the arch where it would be, drove the car tonight coming to the meeting, and was trying to understand and visualize. I have concerns too because I look at that kind of investment, and I'm looking at the roads. I'm looking at the 500 block of 4th Avenue that this poor gentleman has been emailing and asking us for years to pave it. There's other areas I can point out. And yes, I was over on Susan Drive, and so they're everywhere. That I wonder if these monies could be used to help other areas in our community. But then there's another side of me that also sees this as a one-time opportunity, a matching contributor at this time, which honestly I don't know that if we pass this up, will it be around as we go down this path again, if we revisit it in a few years from now. I also know that that area, that community, those neighborhoods, through the BART construction, through the grade separation, have dealt with a lot. And we are also supposed to be leading by example, as we did with the dirt lot at Wells Fargo. That used to be chain link fence, and I was always saying, we've got to lead by example, we've got to clean up our area in order to ask others to do the same and invest in the community we call home. This is an area that, do we want it just to be like in San Carlos where it's just an overpass, or do we want to have some signature on it in hopes that that helps evolve other type of things, so when you drive past the arch, that maybe there aren't vacant properties, that maybe there are people that want to invest and see the opportunity for the future. So I'd like to see what we can do about the funding, but I also do believe that this may be the only opportunity to take this advantage of what we have before us and to have something there for the future. And honestly, those folks down there, we've all gone through a lot with this construction, I shouldn't just say it, but the whole town. And that's something that I think that neighborhood and that area really deserves.
Thank you. As Mr. Ibarra said, it started, you know, a good 10 years ago. It started longer than that, or farther back than that, when San Bruno actually solicited the gentleman, Mr. Howard Good, and said, by the way, we want to get on board with you to make this town a lot safer, because we, for some reason, had some grief with Caltrain over the years. And that started the process. There are many, many very late meetings, rainy nights down at Bel Air School, and models being made, and pretty contentious meetings here and there to finally come up with what this city really wanted. And that's what the the JPB and the whole group wanted to find out what San Bruno wanted out of this. Not just a line where the train goes over and the traffic goes under, but a statement as to what we are all about and what we're all about going forward in this city. This grade separation, along with the arch, is making a statement that this is an anchor for our downtown. This is an anchor for a large portion of our city that, in fact, with our new planning process, our new specific plan, and all of the stuff that we're planning on, from El Camino to San Mateo Avenue to theaters to all different kinds of things, this will be an anchor, and it will be an anchor shortly. Not one that's a pipe dream on a piece of paper, but something people can go up and touch and feel. I do agree that, sure, we can always spend the money on something else. I mean, there's a huge bucket of things that need to be done in this city, and we'll never have enough money to do it all. But I think we have to prioritize some of these things and say, since we do have the money to take care of it, and I am in favor of taking it from other sources other than the culture and arts, because they worked too hard for that, and that money should go for maybe some more specific projects that they designate and we approve. But I'm all for it. I know it's like I said, it's tough. You can spend $600,000 in a wink in this city without even thinking about it and not see the results. But I think with this money here and the approval of this arch, we're going to see the results. We're going to see them very shortly. And boy, I sure look forward to us cutting that ribbon under that arch pretty soon. So I think you know how I feel about it. Anyone else? They're asking for a resolution. Irene?
Well, I'll just stop and I'll introduce the resolution.
Vice Mayor O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibarra. Aye. Councilmember Salazar.
No.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye. Great. Thank you, Mark.
Mr. Mayor,
City Manager.
I would like to just call to the council's attention that there will need to be a small correction to the resolution that you have just adopted to clarify that there will be no use of the culture and arts funds, which I understand to be the direction of the City Council based on your discussion tonight.
Okay.
Just to clarify and add a quick comment to the comments that the council made. There are no restricted funds that are otherwise available to the city, and the reason that staff proposed the funding source that we did is we thought it was the best available match of one-time funds that are not otherwise designated. So that is, we will clarify the resolution as to your action and utilize the revenues as outlined in the staff report.
Good. Understood.
Thank you.
And
All right.
but it's also, as there was a comment made earlier, about looking at other things that may occur down the path. As funding
Absolutely.
sources.
Prospectively, we can certainly do that, and the council can revisit this at any time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Irene?
Mark, do you have any kind of timeline of when this is going to start, finish, looking forward to it?
As I walked by Robert Reichel, I said, tomorrow, we're actually prepared to begin building the foundation for this almost immediately, because it is on a critical path for the construction of the whole grade separation. It's right outside where the area where the footings will be. There's some underground work we're actually prepared to begin literally tomorrow. What you'll see is probably going to be a few months away. We still have to get final design beyond the concept. We have to get some real construction costs. I mean, this is an estimate that we had. But we can certainly report back. We'll continue, of course, to work very closely with the city staff to report all along the way, not only at their insistence, but also out of our desire. So we'll come back and report on the progress that we're making.
Okay,
Great.
great. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you very much.
And
Appreciate it.
Mark,
Yes,
I know
sir.
we wanted the wow factor, but you are going to take a look at that W, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We haven't forgotten that that's something you're interested in us re-examining.
Thank you.
Thank you.